first happened, I felt terrified that there was going to be a ton of damage because I had just had my basement finished. And I've been down this road before, and I know how costly it can be and how difficult it can be to deal with water issues. So the day I discovered that I had a flood in my house, I had come downstairs and heard some water dripping type of sounds, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And it dawned on me to look inside of my water heater closet, which is on my main level. And immediately I noticed that I had a significant leak coming from the pipes that fed into my water heater. I ran downstairs and saw that my newly finished basement was flooding. The drywall was bubbling, and unfortunately it had been going on for probably about 24 hours before I realized the issue. And my carpet was saturated, and I called my plumbers immediately that I've used in the past that had actually initially recommended Elegant to me previously at a different home, and they came right out and took care of stopping the water from flooding and replaced my water heater. Within the same time frame, Elegant Restoration came out and started to work on getting the water extracted and removed immediately, and taking out the necessary drywall and carpeting and flooring that needed to be removed. And during their inspection, they realized that my main level flooring was also damaged and that needed to be taken up. If I hadn't called Elegant Restoration, I would have had no idea that my subflooring on my main level was wet and that my hardwood floors were soon going to be warped and rotted. I'm very grateful that they are thorough and figured out that the issue was much more extensive than we initially had thought, thinking it was only affecting my basement. My biggest fear was that the damage was not going to be easily repairable, and that all the money I had spent on just finishing my newly finished basement was going to be wasted, and that my children were not going to have their playroom to play in for a long time, and that our lives would basically be turned upside down. This is actually the third time I've been through a loss like this with my basement flooding, and Elegant Restoration has come to the rescue every single time. When Elegant Restoration first showed up, I felt extremely relieved because I knew that they were going to be able to handle the situation that I was in efficiently and quickly, and I knew I didn't have to worry. My first impression of Elegant Restoration was shock, actually, because the very first time I used them, the flood that we were experiencing happened very late at night, and they came within the hour, and it was a septic issue, and they took care of the entire situation quickly and professionally, and I didn't have to get my hands dirty at all. The number one thing I learned from all of this was that every situation is different. No matter how many times you've been through a loss, the situation can vary each time, and no matter how different the situation is or how much more difficult it is, Elegant Restoration always seems to be able to come through and take care of it for me without any trouble at all. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Elegant Restoration a 10 for sure. I would highly recommend Elegant Restoration to my family and friends.